Chapter 5. The Old Races. When humans came to this world, it wasn't only inhabited by wildlife and savage conjunction beasts. No, when the first landing took place 500 years ago, the continent was already colonized, settled by gnomes, dwarves, halflings, and elves, the old races. The oldest are the gnomes and the halflings, if dwarven lore is to be believed. They inhabited the continent for thousands of years before the elves and humans came, and continue to do so to this day. Gnomish swords and technology are the best in the world, superior even to dwarven craftsmanship, while gnomes themselves are among the most capable trackers living. Halflings, on the other hand, seem to prefer agriculture to industry. These two races prefer to stay out of the power struggles of the continent, unlike the younger races, those being the elves, dwarves, and of course, humans. The short, stocky men with their large beards and powerful arms are known for their legendary ability to empty entire vats of booze and remain upright, achievements in industry and technology, as well as martial ability. They are excellent warriors. What they lack in height, they more than make up for with their strength, durability, and sheer tenacity. In many aspects, they are just like humans. In some, they are not. Where humans reach adulthood in their late teens and are set loose on society, dwarves only become adults when their beards reach their waists. Around 55 years of age, success in war, trade, or industry is also valued incredibly high. In fact, dwarves without notable accomplishments to their name are unlikely to even be considered as husbands by coveted dwarven beauties or their families. Practical goals create a pragmatic approach to life. This allowed them to integrate themselves into human society better than other old races. As talented blacksmiths, fierce warriors, traders, and bankers, dwarves can live good lives, mostly without fear of being persecuted for the simple fact of being non-human. The fourth of the old races was once a mighty people with a rich culture. In Sadid, elves. They are long-lived and practically immortal by human standards. Their beauty is unparalleled and does not tarnish with age. Inborn magical affinity makes elves extremely powerful mages, while their reflexes and strength make elven archers the most powerful ranged fighters the continent has ever seen. The elves are all but perfect and firmly believed in their superiority. Their culture emphasized patience, gravity, and controlling their emotions. The arrogance led them to ignore humans when they landed 500 years ago. After all, the elves ruled the continent for over 1,000 years by then. They defeated the dwarves and exterminated the Varans and claimed their cities as their own. How could anyone threaten them? The elves believed humans would soon move on or die out. They even indulged them, as it was when they accepted human children for magical training at Loch Muin, not long after the first landing. They did not understand that human thirst for power and control rivaled their own. A few years after the children completed their training, a Redanian army marched into the city and slaughtered the elves, triggering the first elven-human war. Elves fell back, surrendering their cities to humans. From these foundations, human cities like Novigrad and Vazima rose. Part of the reason for their retreat was that, unlike humans, elven women lost the ability to conceive after the first decades of their life, and even then, they could only bear children once every 10, 20 years. Humans did not have that problem. Elves realized they would lose to attrition, though perhaps it was also the discovery that humans and elves could interbreed. In fact, human men could cause elven women to become fertile, not just once per decade, but after every coupling. An uneasy peace followed, but only for a time. 200 years ago, a young elven woman, Eliren, led the bulk of elven youth against humans to restore her people to glory. Her uprising was crushed without mercy. The elves became an endangered species overnight without their youth. Survivors sued for peace. It once more was granted and lasted for an even shorter time, until Lara Dorin and Creganen of Lod, a human mage, fell in love. The lovers were a symbol of peaceful coexistence between the races. And then they were killed, starting a war between humans and elves that lasts to this day. It takes the form of massacres, guerrilla raids, punitive expeditions, persecution. Of course, it isn't evenly spread. The northern kingdoms are infamous for their treatment of elves, while the Empire of Nilfgaard has actively courted them and other non-humans. The Empire even fielded an entire elven brigade and secured the loyalty of non-human guerrillas in the north, the Scoia'tael. But that is a story for another day.
Thank you.